welcome back to Cast Me to Hell with me, Seb.
And me, Robbie.
And this week we return to our creature features one final time.
Yeah.
With Anaconda.
Yeah, we are.
Anaconda.
Yeah, your Anaconda don't want none. But why don't you get your jaws around that subscribe button and leave us a lovely review? I might just do that in every episode. All those buns. I might just do that in every episode just so you get your jaws around it. Well, it's not related to any creature features because it's been a fun.
You have done it in every episode.
Yeah, but in every episode going forward.
Including outside the creature features.
Outside of creature features.
It's just going to be the running gag. Now.
It's just going to be the
We're
running
gag. We're
gag.
just not going to let go of that one.
I'm not letting it go.
I thought you meant like the rest. I was like, this is the final one of our creature features for this season.
I believe it is the final one, but I'm just going to do it going forward. So I think this is a film that I strangely, I don't want to say I watch it all the time, but it seems to be like every other time I go to a hotel. I love hotel TV because it's one of the only times I watch like terrestrial TV, and Anaconda is always on. It always seems to be on like ITV2, Film 4, the Horror Channel at like 9-10 o'clock on a night that I'm in a hotel. So I always end up watching it.
I literally have not even seen reference to this film, and God knows how long. I haven't spotted on anything. Like I have not seen it in so long. Like I have not seen it since I was probably teenage years. Like okay, I used to watch. I had a VHS videotape of this one, not even the DVD. I had the VHS copy of this one. I used to watch the videotape when I was younger, like loads. I loved Anaconda. It was so. Like, but back when I was a kid, I loved this film so much. I remember it being so much like fun. I remember the frightening nature of the Anaconda itself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking how amazing that kind of looked and things like that. And yeah, some of that lives up to today.
Yeah,
not all of it.
No, I still think it's a mostly fun film, and I think it's kind of surprising that it does have quite a stacked cast.
Yeah.
So just to kind of run through and remind the people who may not.
We've had this with all of our creature features though, and I feel like it's
good.
It's like some of them have been maybe when they weren't so layered. This one feels very much like a lot of the cast are very early in their careers.
Well, you got J-Lo.
Yeah. You know, I think this is one of her like first starring roles.
Yeah, old Jenny from the block. Mr. Ice Cube, probably one of his first starring roles.
I think not long after Boys in the Hood, this one, I think.
Yeah. Jon Voight, which is kind
this
of
is definitely not his first.
No, not his. I mean, by the way he's acting, you may think it's his first film. Eric Stoltz, who you would probably forget is in this film.
Yeah.
Because the main thing
I
he does
forgot
is
how
swallow a
little
bug.
he is. Yeah. Eric Stoltz we can probably sum up in a minute, in a couple of minutes. He's very good at the beginning. When he is kind of the love interest of J-Lo.
Yeah.
They have a little smoochie. Then he basically works out very quickly, even though he let Voight onto the boat, he then quickly realises that actually you're talking a load of bullshit. Not long after he gets a thing in his throat. I will talk about that a bit more later.
Yeah,
that's a real trigger for me. And then he doesn't appear except for one scene when he wakes up for a moment, then basically goes back down, and then he's at the end of the film. Well done, you fucking slept through the whole film.
You slept through the whole film. Well done, mate.
Mr. Eric Stoltz, the original Marty McFly as well, for a little fun fact.
and now he's just asleep for Anaconda. Shame on you, Eric Stoltz. Jonathan Hyde, and this is something that I always remember watching this film, and this role being played by John Hannon, the guy from The Mummy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I see what you mean.
I always seem to remember it being because
I feel like you're just remembering The Mummy.
I may be just remembering The Mummy.
Yeah,
but he kind of plays a similar kind of like archetype, slightly like snooty professory type.
Yeah, I think though John Hannon came along as slightly snooty but like goofy but lovable.
Yeah.
Whereas this
Sam
is
Hyde.
more
Jonathan Hyde. Sam Hyde's somebody else.
Jonathan Hyde comes normally along as more snooty and mainly despicable at times.
Yeah,
like a little bit, not like that. But to be fair though, 90s Jonathan Hyde, I just remember him from loads of like like family film. Like he's in Jumanji. He
Yeah.
plays dual roles in that. He's really good in that film. But again, he is still kind of this same posh upper British. You know,
Yeah.
it's quite weird. You know, like. But he also plays like the safari guy in it. But there are other roles again where this was quite an era in 90s. Like now, you have a British actor who's a posh actor from a posh acting background, and he's probably playing like American accent and taking all of your jobs in America.
Yeah.
Because basically most of our actors now come over there and be like, yeah, you've got some good American actors, but British actors can do American better.
Yeah, we'll take your job.
Yeah, we'll take your jobs now. Whereas in the 90s, anyone who came over, Jonathan Hyde, Rupert Everett, they were posh British foils in the film.
Of course.
I'm talking about Dunstan Jokes
Yeah.
with Mr. Rupert Everett, where he is the foil to Mr.
Dunstan.
Monkey.
Yeah, to Mr. Dunstan himself.
But yeah, this is like where most of the time it felt like if you saw a British actor in those films, if it wasn't like he's normally playing some
Hugh
kind
Grant.
of yeah,
Being a bumbling fucking idiot.
But that was Hugh Grant. It was either a Hugh Grant. It's the era of like Hugh Grant where they were like, we'll have a thespian, but they will either star in either. They will either be the romantic lead of the bumbling idiot, which is just a Hugh Grant archetype.
Yeah.
They will be kind of either a father figure or a character which is kind of a nice but stern. The other one is basically what we've got here, which is like the posh guy that invaded comes in and is normally more of a pain in the ass and a stuck-up kind of guy. Those are kind of our British archetypes in that kind of thing. Or they're the villain.
Yeah.
Or they're Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, basically.
You know, they're basically that was our British roles in the 90s that they mainly get. There's very few actors where you're like, you're actually doing a really good American accent. Or feels like, now you're just going to be posh British.
Yeah.
It was the time to be the posh British actor. If you were not a posh British actor, you probably weren't getting many jobs in Hollywood.
And now it's the other way. You'll see an actor, you're like, oh wow, Tom Holland. Oh shit, he's British. Christian Bale. Oh shit, he's British. You know,
exactly. Yeah,
they get you that way.
There's so many ones now, and the range, and again, ones that are from or Britain, Ireland, things like that, where it's just like, how many of you are not British?
That's it.
Like Leonardo, Denzel, and Tom Cruise. The rest of them are British.
Everybody else undercover. You also get Mr. Owen Wilson in this film.
You do.
Just to go back to the cast, a young Mr. Owen Wilson
in his 90s horror phase, along with The Haunting.
The Haunting, where he gets his head
lopped off,
taken off by the only exciting thing that happens in that film.
Yeah, and here he gets crushed by
here he gets a nice death. Carrie Werner, I guess you pronounce it, who was in Eight-Legged Freaks and Hellraiser Deader, which we did put through.
I was going to say, I didn't really recognise her that much.
No.
Denise, that is, isn't it?
Denise.
That's Mr. Owen Wilson's lovely bit on
his
the
squeeze. Vincent Castellanos as Mateo, the man. Danny Trejo, which I always forget,
as the man in the very opening scene.
The poacher.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't really get. I get that now because of the cages, but I didn't really think of him as the poacher. I just thought of him as dude that's about to be killed by Snake and takes his own life.
I think that's too long of a character name. So I don't think
that
they
should have been. We need to start labelling characters' names of exactly what they are. not their names, just their exact description in this film.
No character names either, just that, and they don't refer to each other as anything else.
I feel like there's a great game in that way. Instead of naming the character or the actor, you just name their basic role in the film and see if you can guess who it is. Guy being chased by Snake kills himself. Of course that's Danny Trejo.
Of course, who else is it going to be?
Who else is it? It's also the thing with Danny Trejo that I also took in is the fact that you look at him, and this is young Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
But still look old Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
As in, like, he doesn't... No, he's like old Danny Trejo now, but you look at him and you're like, I don't know how old you are here. You still look like you've had an absolute hard life.
Yes.
And that you could be like 30 years old right now, but to me you still look about 50.
I think he probably is about 40. I swear he didn't really get big until he was like 40s.
No, after he'd I don't know. I don't know his backstory, but I feel as if there were maybe some battles and brawls in that thing.
He was in Heat.
He was he wasn't. He?
As in the film. Not,
not
the breeding like dogs.
I was thinking more like he as in like prison. I was like, I'm sure he has been in prison.
Probably, yeah.
I don't want to assume, but his scarring and his attitude give the idea that he was once
an inmate.
An inmate.
I think he has been, But in this film, it's short-lived. He realises his fate. He pops himself.
He gets to jump in the air. He gets to get thrown in the air by a snake. Well, you don't see the snake, but there's a bit when it pushes the boards up, and he literally does like a whole like, "Way! Oh shit!"
And it's mental.
With all the nails that fly up, like literally the nails fly up around him, and there's weird like slow mo where it's like nails and then him floating.
Yeah. And I'm sure this film, like Jaws, that we started the creature features with, go back and listen if you haven't. If you want to hear us talk about Jaws, which everybody in human history has spoken about, go and listen to it.
I mean, don't
I'm not underselling it. I'm just saying, like, everybody has an episode on Jaws. Go and listen to us for original insights. But
we have nothing new to add.
But I feel like this film is solely responsible for people thinking that anacondas are these massive man-eating snakes, because
40-foot long snakes.
Yes, I was like, when I was young, and I mentioned before, I watched a lot of creature features, and I watched this one probably as soon as it came onto TV. Watched it, shit myself, and I was convinced that if you go into the ocean, a shark will just rip you to pieces. If you go into a stream or a river, like piranhas will just gobble you up, and they will kill you instantly.
Yeah.
And a snake will just swallow you whole, and they will have no mercy. When actually you look at them, like they're long, but they're just fucking snakes, man. You just kick it in the head. Yeah. Like like they'd run away from you. Anacondas.
I can't wait for the survival series review.
Me versus animals.
You versus animals. Just fucking kick it in the head.
But it has to heave in it. So I'm fighting all of these beasts in a paddling pool, to kind of meet halfway.
I think if you and a cobra of some kind meet in a paddling pool, that cobra's winning.
It's not a cobra, it's an anaconda.
It's not.
That's specifically
you versus an anaconda.
I'll batter it. And a piranha and a shark, because it's in a paddle.
By kicking it in the head.
Kicking it in the head. A crocodile, which can be on land and water. I'm kind of fucked. I'll hold my hands up then.
You should start this series by just building up to anaconda, and then start small. Yeah, you versus an ant, a mouse.
Yeah, an ant.
Start getting gradually bigger, a cat, a dog.
Well, they have to be from films. I'm not just killing animals for the sake of
I'm sure. Woody Allen ants.
That is true.
There's definitely cats. It's a terrible film, but it's about cats.
Yeah.
There's definitely dog films.
Cujo,
which
we have covered.
We have
check it out.
It's a terrible film.
It's a terrible film. Cheeky little plug for you. So I kind of like, I forgot how it is a fun film, and I think like it is kind of stacked.
I believe it's on the top 100 Razzies list of enjoyable bad films.
I mean, I understand. Like it's.
I think it won many Razzie awards back in the day. If you know that, the
Yeah.
bad film awards.
Is it still going, the Razzies?
I think so. Just no one gives a shit anymore.
I think
at one point in time they were like, this is a fun little off-brand to the Oscars, because it's normally like the day before the Oscars or something like that. And then over time people are like releasing it, like, yeah, we don't care.
Right, just like the Oscars then.
Yeah.
Nobody else. But yeah, I feel like it's quite a fun film. The plot of it is very, very simple.
It is very simple. I have a bit of upon rewatching it, of where my more thing was, I thought fun, hour and a half, about hour and 28 minutes or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not long.
Kind of one. But I did have a little bit of with this one, which I didn't expect to have, because out of all of the films we've done, this was probably my biggest, I loved this one more than any other. Okay. So my expectations may have been but I was trying to keep them down, because I was like, all of the others of, all of the others. Yeah, Jaws was shit.
Jaws was dog shit. Deep Blue Sea was dog shit. Lake Placid.
It was only Lake Placid that was the one that I had, again, childhood memories of what I did, and then it didn't live up to those kind of ones. And this one, for the most part, is kind of like first act final act, middle, I found was a bit of I found I lost attention a little bit in the middle. It was a bit of a dip in the middle for me. So that's my only area. But again, we'll come to the bit when I felt it kind of dipped a little bit kind of thing. But let's start with the actual starting the expedition a little bit. You've got obviously Jennifer Lopez not wearing a bra for the majority of this film.
Yeah, of course.
It was just the fact that like the first scene you see her writing in the thing, and she is like sat at a desk and she's meant to be this documentary filmmaker or whatever. But the first like literally shot after like basically like Danny Trejo is her like typing on a thing, and she basically opens up. And it's basically just like a nightgown and just areola in your face.
Yeah.
That's literally the first shot, and you're just like, okay, so this is
Jennifer Lopez.
That's Jennifer Lopez.
Lopez.
But they're not going to exploit her all by putting her in a tank top and basically no bra the entire. Oh yeah, they are.
Oh, of course. It's the 90s.
I don't think it's until it gets to the action heavy scenes that they actually finally like. She probably needs to wear a bra now, otherwise her tits are just going to be flying.
It'll be all over the place. And the same, Ice Cube needs to wear boxers.
Yeah.
Or his balls are just going to be
exactly.
Going
they will be
everywhere.
absolutely dropping. Like we need to reinforce that underwear because Ice Cube's dropping mega dong.
He's dropping dong.
He ain't diving in the water and come back out. He ain't come back out flaccid.
It's a buoyancy device. So just keep it up, man. So yeah, I felt
Ice Cube in the water is never like flaccid.
No. Yeah, I feel like you get a good introduction to the characters. And then they meet fucking Jon Voight.
That happens way faster than I remembered that being. Like I remember them going on the journey. You get the bland love interest of Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
You get the Ice Cube feeling somewhat out of place. Even like Jennifer Lopez, the one thing I will say is that Jennifer Lopez actually feels quite oddly natural, and I've always actually thought she's actually a fairly good actress.
It's weird, isn't it?
She's like, she's always put in these weird roles, but I thought actually like, a lot of them, she's actually quite good in this like role. I was sat there at first being like, a lot of people would be like, fucking Jennifer Lopez is a documentary film. We're like, nah, that's not me. But she seems quite natural.
Yeah, she's right. An Ice Cube is kind of okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of, I imagine her playing.
He's
similar
okay.
to himself.
I mean, he's Ice Cube plays Ice Cube.
But I watched, Ghosts of Mars today, which had Ice Cube in it as well, and I was like, fucking hell! It was awful. Like Ice Cube was pure dog shit, and he's wearing like a black like sleeveless vest kind of thing, and then like this kind of like horrid army print cargo and Matrix coats, and he's just dog shit in it. Whereas in this, he kind of
he could be right. he does Ice Cube.
When he plays Ice Cube, he's good.
When he basically plays to his thing. This film was definitely. The script was basically. I know the script was changed to basically when they cast Jennifer Lopez and then they decided to put Ice Cube in, because originally it was like Jennifer Lopez role was like offered to like Jennifer Aniston. Gillian Anderson turned it down. Juliana Margulies turned it down. A whole array of like 90s, TV, like basically they're on TV show but they're getting big actresses.
Yeah.
And several of them were like, nah, we'll do that. And she originally had like a completely different name, which I can't actually remember. It was like Porter or something like that instead of Forres or something like that. Yeah. That she now has. They changed it to the thing. Same with Ice Cube's character. Is it Dennis?
Danny Rich.
Danny. I don't know where Dennis came from. Danny Rich. Again, what? that's not a great name. I never thought Danny Rich.
When you give somebody two first names, it always sounds weird. Sorry to any people with two first names out there.
Yeah, but it's just Danny Rich. Like, I don't know why. It feels like they changed that name in the script. I know they changed both the characters' name. I don't remember what his was before, but changing Ice Cube suddenly comes in. Rapper Money, and they change him to Danny Rich. Just sounds fucking.
It's a bit too odd.
There's something a bit there, but yeah, because his was originally literally like people like Bill Murray was offered it.
What?
That's what I mean. Like, not really. I mean, it's meant to be like the camera guy behind the thing, so it was an array of like again like kind of more like comedic actors of the time kind of thing, and they ended up going with Ice Cube. The same way Eric Stoltz's character. His was offered to like Ben Stiller.
What?
I don't know, in the 90s who was like, We want someone to be the charming side to Jennifer Lopez. Ben Stiller.
And it has to be a comedian.
I mean, have Ben Stiller and Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller and Jennifer Lopez ever done a film together? But
Jennifer Aniston and Ben Stiller.
I would believe Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez. I don't believe Ben Stiller and Jennifer Lopez.
No, I don't.
There was even one and you probably know him from things, but he's quite big in America, but not over here. Called Dave Foley. And he just is all wrong. Google Dave Foley. I'm sure you've seen him. He's in Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes and things like that. He was quite a big comedic actor. But he was offered...
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. Does he look like Eric Stoltz level of we're going to have the handsome, charming leader of this pack?
No.
And anyone in America probably know who I'm talking about. So, yeah.
He looks like he might strangely be related to Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. And they did cast Steve Buscemi as the love interest.
Steve Buscemi.
I mean, they should have cast Steve Buscemi as the love interest.
Or Steve Buscemi as instead of Jon Voight.
I just like saying, I think this film went through like a development, like quite a lot of, because like even Jon Voight's character was offered out to like Jack Nicholson. Imagine Jack Nicholson.
That would have been fucking class.
They had like Jack Nicholson, Liam Neeson,
but surely they like
Sean Connery was they were on the list, but Sean Connery was actually asked for it. And he was like, "Fuck no." He turned it straight down. Like, I'm not doing that role, no chance.
See, if they'd have just like Jack Nicholson and Sean Connery, straight laced, not like being Paraguayan or whatever it is for some reason, would have been fucking menacing.
I feel like there's no reason for him to put the accent for Jon Voight to do what
because his character's
I
Paul
feel
Serone.
that was. That's what I mean. I feel that was purely Jon Voight's choice.
Yeah.
I mean, Jon Voight's always come across a little bit odd, I'm not going to lie. So, in my head, Jon Voight and... I was looking at it, because at first, I knew it was Jon Voight in the film, but I looked at it and I thought it was Dennis Hopper. Because he looks weirdly like Dennis Hopper in this film, with his hair pulled back and things like that. And I was like, they're both two actors who are both known for kind of being a bit insane. I mean, Jon Voight's basically trying to like destroy Hollywood right now, because he's basically the advisor to Trump for Hollywood, and Trump fucking hates Hollywood, so he's trying to kill all them because they all fucking hate him. So like, he's he's like, he's Angelina Jolie's dad as well.
Is he?
Yeah, that's a fun fact. I can't imagine that she likes him.
No,
because she's very like pro and like interested in like helping people.
That's so weird, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Fun fact: Jon Voight made Angelina Jolie.
How did something so weird make something so beautiful? You know, that's truly interesting. I mean, he's a hell of an actor.
I mean, unless I'm wrong and he's like he was stepdad or things like that, but I'm kind of sure that Jon Voight is her father.
I mean, maybe. You know,
I think that is a fact.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Born 1975.
1975. Yeah, so he had obviously already long since conceived her.
Yeah,
he had the goodness that was in him had been released, and it allowed him to become this, to become Paul Serone.
He had it drained out of him.
It's the weirdest performance where I'm sure, yes, a majority of actors would not have gone the way that he goes with this role.
Like, I imagine Jack Nicholson would have fucked in that role. Like, he's so good.
Yeah.
And like Paul Serone as a character, he does have this fucking weird menace about him. However, like a lot of the things he does is menacing, and he is very menacing. And the way like he gives Mateo all these strange kind of looks, so you're already like, this guy, and they know what's going on. He has all this weird stuff. But it's just the fact that his accent is so terrible, and it's such a weird thing that you can't take the character that seriously.
It's really weird, because the actual like, it's not completely that. It's like the accent really does take away from it, because if you just watched him and what he's doing, he's got this weird slimy creepiness about him that actually works in many ways. It felt to me like he was trying to do a bad version of. Have you ever seen Cape Fear with Robert De Niro?
Yes, a long time ago.
He's a bit hammy in that film, Robert De Niro, but it kind of works for the role. This felt like Jon Voight was like, I'm going to do my own De Niro. Yeah, I'm going to do my own. I can be this creepy side. It like kind of comes through at first. I'm hiding it, but I'm getting weirder and weirder as we go along. But instead, he was like, but it would be better if I sounded
If I put on a
Like something from Looney Tunes.
Yeah. If I put on a Southern American accent.
Yeah.
You know, it's so weird.
That's what it like Foghorn Leghorn, but it still went weird.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn whose tongue's been fucking stabbed by a wasp or something.
Yeah.
It's so, and it takes away from it because I think he's a good character. The way him and Eric Stoltz just kind of like butt heads.
Yeah,
you know,
he has lots of the unspoken part. You know, when he's looking at them and you can see him searing in the background, or the way he creepily like opens his eyes and looks out when you see him like in the bed at the one point when he knows that the two Owen Wilson and Denise is the character's name. I can't remember his thing. I don't remember her character.
Gary, his name.
When they go off and he has that kind of he constantly has this look of like, I know what's going to happen, or I know what's going on, kind of thing. And those bits, it's not. I don't think that those parts are a bad performance. It just literally is. Like every time he opens his mouth, it takes that tension out of it.
Yeah, and it's Mateo, hey Mateo, I didn't kill the Captain Mateo.
But it's weird because I do think mainly the cast does a good job with what they've got, kind of thing, and everyone is playing. There's nothing majorly deep here. They're not trying. They're going off like a National Geographic into the forest to find a lost tribe. But I did say I thought I was really thrown off by how quickly they got to Pulsarone. I thought they were off like on a little journey for a while, and then they happened to come upon him. Not literally. It's literally like we're starting off on our journey. Oh, a little bit of rain. Oh shit, who's that? It's literally like they turn. It feels like they start off on the journey, turn a corner, and like we already started back there, mate. You can probably walk.
Well, it's quite like a pacey film.
Yeah.
And what I do like is when they're like. He's talking about this tribe and they see stuff about it, and there's like the totems of like a person being eaten by a snake.
Yeah.
How none of them are like
the Anaconda.
like that's fucking weird. And then Paul Cerrone keeps saying to them,
well, that's kind of why he's written out though, because Eric Stoltz's character is the one that to Paul no, you're talking about a completely different. I literally do tribes. That's my job. I do tribes.
And then he's like,
I'm the first.
We can cut time out if we go this way.
So I just got the whole South Park. I am the first. These black children. I was the first white man's penis.
Oh yeah.
Just because it was just like Eric Stoltz being the white man appearing to tribe. I am a white man who appears before tribes.
Basically. But yeah, the bit that I always, because he does say like, let's go this way, and they're like, they see the weird gate and they're like, no, fuck that, we're not going there. But the bit that, and this bit always confuses me, is the propeller gets like jammed, so Eric Stoltz goes down to fix it, and then somehow gets that wasp in his mouth. But how does Jon Voight do it?
I don't think he does.
He does it. Because he mentions later in the film, that's what I was trying to work out how it happened, because I thought he was going to do something to him, but then I thought it was just a coincidence that it happened. Is it? Does he say later that it's? He says later that he did it. He doesn't say, "Oh, I fucking did it," but he implies. He's like, Eric Stoltz accidentally swallowing a wasp. Yeah, and it's very heavily implied that he somehow coordinated.
Did he stick it in his mask?
Maybe. That's what I'm thinking.
It must have been inside. He must have put it in the mask or something when he sent him down there.
Maybe.
Is there a quick shot that we both missed where he like holds onto the mask or does something to a mask or something?
That's what I'm wondering. I
literally have no idea. I don't know. I thought it was just always a coincidental accident that just happens to take him out of the picture. Yeah, that's what I always thought it was. And I don't remember the mention of it not being that. But if he does, then I definitely missed something.
Yeah, but so like you said, when Kale is attempting to free the boat's propeller from a rope, the wasp, planted by the villainous Paul Cerrone, is hidden in his diver mouthpiece.
There you go. So we put it in the mouth. So we obviously missed this. We both missed the scene.
I think everybody's missed that, because I've watched this film so many times, and I'm always like, the fuck did
Unless that's just, well, that's the reveal. It's saying
Maybe.
it there, but it's the reveal later on that he says that he did it, kind of thing, is what shows it. I don't
Maybe.
know. That's where we've both missed something there badly.
Yeah.
But this scene, this is my I rewatching this, I remembered that this is the beginning of my fucking neck trigger. This is what made me have my reaction. This is it. It wasn't Scream where like Scream 3 when he gets his throat cut. I remember always hating that, but anything to do with the neck. But it was this. This is what scarred me for life of anyone fucking touching my, like, even my wife. I'm like, don't fucking touch me. Get away from me. Like, don't touch. Don't put her hand. Even I don't like touching my own.
It is weird.
Like this scene where he's got that and he has to do a tracheotomy to shove it in there. And I remember, I think being so young and being like, fucking hell, like shoving something into your. I think there's something about like hitting a certain age and then like things like Adam's apples. Like the idea of that. I remember we had a person who used to live in our street, like. A kid that I was friends with, and his dad had the most like out there, and I mean, I fucking like it was a fucking apple. It was an actual like apple on his neck kind of thing. It was like that, and I always remember just looking at it. I don't know why, it always weirded me out. So when I saw a scene like this, it was as if in my mind I was like, imagine like slicing through your Adam's apple, like having to cut. Like that's what my head went to when I was a kid. But yeah, I fucking this scarred me for like this. Literally changed me. It saved it and made me into like a don't you fucking touch
changed you as a man.
Like it's the one. It's like you may touch me anywhere else you want to.
That is an invitation.
That's an invitation. Anyone in the street, just grab me wherever you want.
Anyone, anywhere,
except my neck. If you grab my neck, I'm freaking out at you.
Yeah, no consent for the neck.
No consent. No consent. Any other entrance but the neck.
And any other orifice. But oh yeah, it is a gross scene, man.
Yeah, it's just that like the quick thing, the pet taking the pen out. You know, it's a tracheotomy. I've seen it on other things and other shows, but I think there was something between the wasp in the mouth is a gross thing, and then having to slice through the throat and. It all was, I don't know, it was just triggering to me when I was a kid.
I mean,
properly.
it is rough.
Scarred me.
Yeah, it is rough, man.
But what I didn't realise, like we've already mentioned, is that then Eric Stoltz is fucking just gone.
He's gone, isn't he?
After he's bandaged up on his neck, that's it. Like, I was like, literally, this guy had a cushy little job here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'd see him in a bed, getting tugged off by jailer. That's it.
That's a deleted scene.
That's the deleted scene, is him just getting jerked, him opening his eye, looking, winking at the camera and pretending to be fucking unconscious again.
Yeah, J-Lo sitting down by the bed and as if someone outside, he's like whispering, like trying to makes it sound like the only way to make him wake up is to tug him off.
Whack me off.
What? Who said that? I think it's Paul Serrano.
You're gonna wank him off.
You're gonna wank him off. Doing the accent. You're gonna wank him off.
You're gonna wank him off.
Both hands.
Both hands now.
That is it. What happens pretty, like I said about him Paul Serrano waking, like, you know, because at this stage he's still like, they know, they already don't trust him. That just, the trust goes very quickly, which is so I actually quite like. I like the fact that Eric Stoltz's character calls him out on it. I love his little reaction, like his little tantrum in front of the camera, like, you don't listen to me, throw me at the next village, and they all wish they did.
Yeah.
But they all do, but they're kind of stuck with him, and then he obviously keeps doing things to keep them in. This is what I forgot. I forgot how much Paul Serrano is kind of a main key point of like the whole objection of the point. The Anaconda is kind of an extra part. Like he's almost the main villain of this film, and the Anaconda is just there as a pain in the ass for everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, the Anaconda's just there late, like first act a little bit, third act mainly to kill people. Middle is just the Paul Serrano story, which is fine because it does build a thing. This was a little bit of the bit where it was kind of felt like we were going and we were having lots of nefarious Paul Serrano, like them fighting and quabbling. This was the only part where I felt it takes a bit of a dip. When it felt like I was like we've got mention of the Anaconda, but we're not really like doing that much with them. You know, he's not really there so much because this is the Paul Serrano show. And if you don't like the character, if you don't like the accent and things like that, I think it's a bit that can be a bit like, oh, this is a bit great because I've come here for Anaconda action.
Yeah, it can be.
And really, majority of Anaconda deaths don't happen until when we're getting into the end of the into the third act kind of thing. A lot of it doesn't happen, I felt, until they kept them all alive a lot longer than I thought they did. For instance, Owen Wilson's character, and I always thought that they died in that scene when they went out into the thing, and I don't know why. When they went out to have the fuck, they go out. Paul Sorrell is he's aware. He's got his little eye open. I'm surprised he's not like taking the film equipment.
Make
a little thing.
It's my own personal record.
I did have the thought in my head though, because they said they're going out to get rainforest sounds.
Yeah,
and I just had this idea of them all being back on the boat. And just forgetting that the sound goes back to the boat, and just like the sound of them clapping cheeks.
Bum, 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 bum.
Just them like
yeah.
And all you're getting is just you're just literally getting Owen Wilson just clapping cheeks.
So go for it. Wow, wow, wow. Just often. Wow.
Just this like sudden scene of like Paul Sorrell with the exact same smile he has when they get off the boat, where he has that little creepy smile. He's just there like smiling on shot, and just in the background all you can hear is that.
Just like, wow.
While J-Lo's off tugging off
and him going,
in his coat.
Wow. But no, so the first
I thought that was it. I thought they got attacked in the forest, and this was like the catalyst to start them being like shit, but it wasn't.
Well, it's Mateo's death.
Chased by Hog.
Yeah, because the Hog gets shot, and then they're like
again implied that Post Malone has saved them and helped them. So it's another little thing that he's kind of almost done.
Yeah,
he got his hug out of his suitcase and sent it off after.
Because
he somehow manipulated all of this
the rainforest. So after it's because that's the whole thing that he does, so that they can go the way that the Anaconda's sealed it, I guess.
Yeah.
However that works, and he basically says like, "Oh, it's going to take us like a week to get back, and Eric Stoltz has got to die in a couple of days, so we need to go this way." And then they blow the thing up, and there's snakes everywhere. I don't know how that works, because the Anaconda could just go in the forest and just go around just go around.
It seems like one very blocked area. It's
very odd.
There's forest right there.
Yeah.
And the majority of the snakes can all go on land.
Yeah.
So it's not blocking many at all.
It doesn't make much sense.
No.
But it's a fun scene. And then it's when they get to...
I do, because it has them like showering down.
With loads of snakes.
That's really cool.
And he's like, "Go back to your mother." And he just throws them around. And this is where Jonathan Hyde gets bitten by a snake.
Yeah. The one on his finger.
Yeah, the one on his finger.
Little snake on the finger.
I think Jonathan Hyde, and Ice Cube have a good little bit of back and forth.
Yeah, they do. I said to you before, I wasn't sure if we had another case of another rapper doing a song.
Yeah,
and I thought that he was playing an Ice Cube song on the radio box, and I was expecting the end of the film to end with an Ice Cube song.
That would be cool.
Of him, like, I thought we were having another LL Cool J moment.
Yeah, but I don't know if Ice Cube would do a song about a snake. I know he's in films, but I don't know if he's that kind of rapper.
I'm not sure. Yeah, he is a different kind of rapper than LL Cool J.
He was back then. Now he does kids films.
Yeah,
so he might do a rap. But
yeah, well, I was expecting the same kind of rap, but maybe a rap where he basically implies that his dick is an anaconda.
But more
that
explicit.
Seems more an explicit kind of.
My penis is an anaconda. You don't suck at it.
There we go. Little tidbit. While we're on explicit content. This film was actually filmed with way more swearing and explicit content. So actually a lot of the actors, including Jon Voight, including Ice Cube, it actually had a lot more like swearing and detail in it. And they actually had to go back and do ADR.
Really?
And actually re-film loads of the scenes, which some people have also said why things like certain scenes with Jon Voight seem really odd and out of place at times. Because they went back and redid it so it could be a PG-13.
That's a shame, man.
They made it actually quite like explicit. Apparently they were just kind of going off the cuff with a lot of swearing, and then they were like, "No, we want this to be like a lower, so that anyone can kind of see this film."
Yeah.
Which is why it's mainly for quite a lot of it, it's mainly blood.
It is.
Isn't it? It's like there's not actually. Although it seems quite violent at times, there's not. I can't think of many when I can think of a lot of blood.
Well, it's just constricting, really.
Yeah,
which is
you don't
I don't
see
want to
them
die
like splattering blood out, or because in a lot of ways this could have had them squeezed and their eyes pop out, or guts pop out their throats, and there's plenty of sick ways that apparently certain animals that get squeezed, they literally their guts basically like frogs that get squeezed by small snakes, like their intestines that get thrown out their body and stuff.
Yeah,
so
frog.
but that's what I mean. But like you could have done that. I was almost expecting like when Owen Wilson gets it to be like his eyes popping out, but it doesn't really happen like that.
Well, Mateo's the first death when they go to check out, Danny Trejo's boat. I was about to say ship then, which I guess is right, but makes me think of like a spaceship.
Yeah. Or just a lot bigger.
Yeah. So they go to check out his boat, and then as they're coming back, Mateo gets got by the Anaconda. And I don't know whether... Cause
it's one of the first proper like visuals of it spinning around.
Yeah, it kind of wraps around.
I mean, we get the panther scene, which is which is kind of cool when you get like that's a real panther, and then when the snake gets, it's like, oh, that's a puppet.
Yeah,
that's a doll of it.
I think it looks good.
Yeah,
I think like for the most part it looks good. But my only thing is, like, I have a lot of this where that bit I find really tense when they're in that water.
Yeah,
and it's just dark, and you don't know, like, you can sense.
You have a bit of the draws,
ripple.
The point of view as well. We get a bit of the movement. We get the water ripple is really cool. Yeah, we do get a little bit of perspective at times, but the water ripple that you mentioned is the coolest time when I think it really is the scariest.
Yeah, and I feel
it reveals itself a lot. I'm not so sure.
And I feel like what they could have done to make it more cinematic is Mateo should have had like an off-screen death. He should have been dragged in because you see the snake, and then what Paul Serrane's like, "Don't make me the monster. I didn't get a Captain Mateo," and he unfurls the snake skin. Yeah, and that's when they're like, "What? This fucking snake's as big as this? Like that? Yeah, it killed Mateo. We're here. We're gonna kill it. I've got the shooter. Like we're gonna go catch this thing." And I feel like it really does build out. So it shouldn't have showed it then, because when they do, when they've killed the little monkey and they're laying a trap, and he's talked Gary into doing it, and they throw the monkey out at the front of the ship, and it's quite like tense. It's really quiet, and then it just gets a bite, and you see like you see the line going all over the place, and then they pull it up. And you see that it's a fucking massive anaconda. I feel like that would be a really good reveal.
Yeah, I do agree that I think that Mateo, like, because it's quite simple. Obviously, we get like the spin around. He gets the crushing thing, which it's cool. Like it does like it's effective. The crushing. Yeah. The only thing, and this is one of my things with the film, is that once we get to that, the problem is it does start to feel a little bit like, how else are we going to see someone die apart from being spun around and crushed?
Exactly.
And Mateo's is the first one to happen, so that when multiple other characters start getting a kind of similar-ish death, you start being like, I'm starting to feel that this Anaconda is limited in how we can have interesting visual screen deaths. Yeah. Because it doesn't really change it up. From Mateo's to Owen Wilson's, the only major difference is that he's more floating in the air. Yeah. But apart from that, it's pretty much the same of crushing. In fact, Mateo's hands on a little bit longer, that you get a bit more of a crushing, whereas Owen Wilson's is more like flipped into the water.
Which is it's a good scene, I
really scene like as a whole, I think I just think that the actual deaths end up being quite limited, because one, they're kind of bloodless, and it's very samey after a while having this. Oh, we're going to get crushed by the snake. Not that that's not terrifying. That sounds fucking horrible. Is.
However, you need a bit of variety.
Yeah, Mateo's such a not much of a character, in many ways. Yeah. That he is the guy that's just Paul Serrane. Straight away is like, I know who this guy. I know that this guy's not right. He's the one that's knowing but doesn't really do anything about it. That he straight away could have been like, no guys, nah. You don't want to pick him up.
Yeah, let's
fucking
get
weirdo. Like
notorious paedophile.
Then again, know what Paul Serrane's like. If they had all said no on that boat, he would have just fucking killed them. Probably. He probably would have just pulled out a gun and been like, fine, I'll take the boat. Bam, bam, bam. So it would have worked out bad either way, probably for them. But yeah, I agree with you that I actually think that it could have worked, because obviously, and this is where there are, although it feels like jumping from that to that, there is actually, I did feel that there was quite a lot though of just like slow motion of like them floating through the water and having more glances at Paul Serrane, and those were the only bits that were like dipping for me, where I was like that, because obviously after Mateo, you've got Ice Cube who goes back in to see where's Mateo gone. which adds some, but I don't know why. It didn't quite feel like there was weirdly like as much tension there, because it felt like there's nothing going to happen to Ice Cube.
Well, you know, Ice Cube's not going to die, and you know somebody has already died.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be. It's kind of a redundant scene.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is that the lack of like Mr. Mateo's death, or how like, because from the audience perspective, then it makes it feel oddly weird that they just kind of like, oh, he's definitely dead, let's just move on.
Yeah, let's fuck
off. It feels a bit oddly cold that they're just so quick to be like, well, the driver's dead, we're just going to take his boat.
Yeah.
Did you have any proof? He left his light in the water.
Yeah.
Could he have run in a different direction and dropped that? No. Nah, we're not even going to question this.
We could drive the boat.
We're just going to. And again, it doesn't take away from the fact that, again, this is much more in the creature feature kind of like the pick them off one by one, with a bit more of a kind of the thing that I think weirdly is the both like rises it in some ways, lowers it, is Paul Serone on both ends of the spectrum. Where it's like we have this weird kind of like playoff and little like how we gonna get around him, how we gonna stop him when he seems to have. He has so much control straight away. It is like what you said. If Jon Voight had not taken such an odd way with it, it probably would have been deemed a better film, I think.
Yeah.
If you had a performance in the centre of it which didn't feel quite so hammy.
It's really hammy.
Like, if you had someone like a Nicholson, De Niro, whatever, you know, who was really like reining in the darker process of this, then it could have been a bit more like he's legitimately scary.
Yeah.
And the problem is Paul Serone is scary in the way that he's like feels quite intimidating, but he's not scary when he's talking.
And that's the thing, you know, because he is obviously, you know, the trope of the character who's kind of going too far, the guy who can't give up the hunt and ultimately dies because of that. But what I do find interesting is, if you know, Jaws, they went out to hunt and they were all kind of on board for it. Deep Blue Sea, they all had to escape. Lake Placid, they were all teaming up about it. Whereas in this, there is the conflict between the person who is kind of keeping them captive and making them hunt, versus the rest who kind of don't really want anything to do with it. Apart from Gary, who's very easily persuaded into it.
I forgot. It felt really like a weird change of him. It felt so easy for him to go, yeah, no, I'm just gonna go with this guy who we've all been weirded out with this whole time. But yeah, like he goes with the best survival. He makes himself into a weak character, I guess. That way.
It's so weird because he just goes like, Gary, and he's just like, all right, go in, Denise. I need to go chat with our mate. And then the next thing he's like,
I want to pipe you, but you know, I know this is probably going to make you not want me to pipe you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
The rest of his motivation is basically being, I'm horny and I want to pipe you.
Oh yeah, I think he has a line that's like, I forget.
It literally is like
the jungle makes you so horny.
So horny, yeah. I've literally just been horny this entire time. Like, why has it not happened to this? And like, when are we going to get somewhere that I can pipe you?
Yeah, that is.
And now I'm back, and now, shit, I'm not going to get to pipe you now because I'm going to follow this dude now.
And now
you showed me a bigger cock.
Yeah,
it's literally like the battle of the who's got the bigger testosterone here.
Yeah.
And he's just like flashes him his penis. It's just like, you're big, I follow you.
I follow you.
I kneel down before you, Lord. Serrano.
It's the scene after Gary dies, you know, when then it's that quietness again, which is always creepy, and then you see this, you know, you see the anaconda kind of swim off with Gary in it. A little bit of CGI fun that I've always thought was a really cool shot.
I liked the bit. So the Gary's that I thought more was going to happen when he's actually getting crushed, but I like the bit when he is getting pulled through the water and we get to follow, like we see him like spin around through the water. I like that part.
Apparently, when the trailer was released for this, the CGI snake hadn't been finished or added.
Yeah.
So if you watch the trailer, Owen Wilson just falls into the water by himself. The snake isn't actually on him. So I need to go watch it. I've just heard about it, but I've never actually watched it.
So I did hear in terms of the thing that apparently the CGI for this film, because it was so early on so it was really expensive there to do any CGI shots or something like that. So it cost something like £100,000, like literally like a minute.
Wow.
For this film. That's how expensive it was. That's why they had to keep the the deaths to like one unique kind of area or points.
Yeah.
And the rest of it had to try and be like more practical as much as they could and try to add the CGI around it. So that's how much of the budget was basically, majority of the budget was just literally the snake to make it work.
Wow.
I also heard that I think it won like an award, like a scientific award, because the 40-foot snake, the animatronic, like it still exists in a museum in America where they've removed all of the skin, but you can still see the exoskeleton of the actual animatronic moving snake because they kept it for that. But that's another nerdy little thing out there that I've heard about. But it's, although in terms of design, the only thing is because you've got I really like the design like on the poster. Like there's a drawn anaconda on the poster, like classic thing. I always think that in this one though, the only thing I don't like about the design is the eyes of the snake. I feel the eyes of the snake do not look creepy. I feel that they look oddly placed, like they're not quite in the right. They're not quite. I know snakes have an odd thing, but they look oddly. I feel like the eyes always just. And this has not been an uncommon thing with some of the animatronics, where the eyes is the weird part that gives it away. But there's something about this one, because the eyes are going to have that, but they just didn't look quite creepy enough. They didn't really look like slits properly. They look oddly like eyes.
Like
kind
balls,
yeah, there was like an oddness about them. And I just always think it made the face look a bit goofy.
Yeah.
Like the placement of the eyes just throws it off the rest of it. The mouth, the thing, all looks really, really good. The body looks amazing. I just always think like when it showed an actual shot of its face coming towards you, it has an odd, as if the eyes were slightly too close together, I think it was.
It is weird, isn't it?
There's just weird. It's just the one thing about the design I just didn't like was the fact that I feel like the anaconda wasn't as scary to me because I found it a bit goofy. Every time I got a straightforward shot of the face, I was like, that looks a bit goofy. It just doesn't look quite right. It doesn't look like, that's the part that didn't look like an actual snake to me. Is the eyes ruins the snake effect.
Kind of weird, isn't it? I think other than that, it looks, like you said, it looks really
good. The animatronics and stuff, like when you actually get the parts when it's moving through water and you're seeing it like lifted up in the air and things like that, it's amazing. It literally just is that one little element that slightly takes me out of the kind of, I don't know why I don't find you that scary in that position, but what he does is terrifying.
Yeah.
I think that is one thing. To have a mainly bloodless one, but it's still being, the thought of being crushed and dragged in the water, like the bit when Owen Wilson, I think because I wasn't as bothered about Mateo's character. Not that Gary is any form of a great character, but like when he gets dragged into the water, knowing more of Owen Wilson probably earns some cred to the character more because it's Owen Wilson. But like when he gets dragged through that water and you can hear like the bones breaking, and I think part of it is Denise's reaction, which is quite good. That she's got like that proper like emotional reaction as you would have, and she continues that emotional reaction afterwards is also good because no one gives a shit about Mateo.
Nobody gives a fuck about
no one cares what happened.
Just let him die, man.
He's dead, man.
He'll be fine.
Fucking
just digest
Eric
it.
Stoltz is just sleeping through it all.
Yeah, I love that. Eric
He's
Stoltz
just fucking sleeping. I mean, he's in a coma probably, but
Yeah, he's sleeping.
But still, it's fucking like, I just find that funny to think of all the shit that's going on the boat. And somewhere in a little cabin room is Eric still sleeping.
And he just wakes up like, what's going on?
What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going back to sleep.
Go back for a
I feel like there's a whole version of this film where you can just show from Eric Stoltz's in bed like reaction where he keeps waking up and be like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
He's like the Anaconda is like,
nah, I'll leave them. I'll leave
like
them
Owen
to that.
Wilson getting dragged away, like Gary's gone. And it's like,
yeah, I'll leave them to that.
They think I'm sleeping. I'm going back.
Yeah,
just leave like Paul Cerrone with like a gun walking through the video. It's like, nope.
Wank him off.
He's
like, oh god, time. It's time for another one.
You do get J-Lo's character trying to really weird seducing him.
That's a scene that I just think is so fucking dog shit because like why did they think that would work?
Yeah,
as characters, why are they like
she shows? There's no interest shown. Like if he was a different kind of character, or he was like slightly alluring, or earlier on he'd come across more charming.
Yeah, then
it's a something they do in some films, and you can maybe see why they try.
Yeah,
like in certain films, you're like, well,
maybe I can see it.
But not with this slimy fucker.
No. It's so gross.
Her
so
going up
bad.
to him is just like, it's literally like the grossest. Like, he literally, when I say slimy, I mean literally in my head, he is basically what he is at the end of the film when he's covered in that goo. The whole film, he looks like he has like a layer of sweaty slime on,
like a
off
film
his whole body.
slime. Just
so the idea that she's gonna like want to board that slimy creature and go for a ride is just like, even he doesn't believe. Even he knows he's disgusting.
Yeah, and then he senses fucking Ice Cube's ambush. You can just tell. You know, it's such a dog shit scene. It makes no sense.
That's important. But yeah, but that was in like those. There was those longer bits when they were like conflicting things with Gary. These were the little bits when I was a little bit like, okay, I'm ready for you to get into the. Like, I mean, me sat there like the gal with the story, like fucking Anaconda me.
Yeah, give me some Anaconda, baby.
Give me that Anaconda. I want that 40 feet.
Yeah, because there's the bit where it's not even that long. Well, it says I'm on the Wikipedia because I forgot the exact measurements, but it's 25 meters, 25 foot, 7.6 meters.
Oh, I thought I read that it was the animatronic was 40 feet.
Maybe the animatronic was, but
they intended it for it to be smaller.
Yeah, for some reason, like they're like, 25 is a nice round.
Grower, not a shower.
Yeah, it's a grower, not a shower. So that they kind of capture. That's what I mean. It moves quite briskly. So after Gary's dead, they apprehend Cerrone and tie him up, and then they get to another blockage in the river, and they're like, we need to like winch the boat, winch it free. And this is where Jonathan Hyde dies. Yeah, and I think his death.
I always remembered his like going up through there. That's one of the deaths I always remember. Like most of the death I could not remember, but his going through the waterfall. Yeah, I always remember that scene of him like trying to hide away inside of that waterfall as it starts like getting higher and higher towards them. While down there, Denise is getting her throat fucking broke.
Yeah, she gets a
pulls her own. She tries to stab him. She tries to kill him for what he did to Gary. She's still like emotional about it, and that one's brutal though because it's weird like in this film to have like not blood heavy, but to have a character who seemed quite kind and nice mainly, and is just feeling lost without like who was her partner. Yeah, for her to be literally like squeezed to death by Paul Cerrone to have her life taken, including his way of looking at it. Like he seems it's one of the stronger parts for his acting and character that he seems to give absolutely no shit. Like he calls her the little bird or whatever it is, little bird or baby bird or whatever he calls it. Baby bird. But he literally, when he just killed her, he's just like that. But that's kind of at the same time what it is to her. Like she is the equivalent of him choking out like a little small bird. Yeah, like it's no different to him. Killing a snake, killing a bird, killing her, it seems no different to him. And I think that's quite a kind of oh shit moment. And it's quite tense because obviously we've also got what's going on with them they're trying to stop him, getting thrown about and stuff like that. And up there you've got Jonathan running up and getting hidden away, and the snake is coming for him. It's
such a good death. Yeah, that's the one that I always remember.
Because it's like literally, it looks so tall. It's fucking huge. Because he's literally it gets him all the way up there, and then it curls him up in the air.
Yeah, and then drops down. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, it's probably, and that's what you mean. Like
this is where I thought it was more bloodless, like more blood though. Because I thought I remembered him getting more like attacked or bit or something.
Yeah, but it's trying to go back to like, anacondas just constrict things and swallow them whole. Yeah. And obviously, like, you want to save the swallowing whole, and seeing that, you want to save that for like the end. You don't want to bust your bean straight away, but you have to think of ways in which you can keep the kills exciting. And I found that so
I think the watching, you can't, obviously it's a podcast, you can't, but just Rob trying to describe that you've got to save the swallowing hole.
You got to save the swallowing hole. You got to save it. The fact that like this happens it's quite cool. It's quite a memorable moment. And that's why I say it's a shame that like Matteo's death is kind of similar to Gary's in a way. Gary gets to fall back. The thing with Matteo that I guess is kind of the gross factor is that he's up against like a tree, and then the tree like snaps, which I guess you're kind of like. Oh,
that one does have a much more of the breaking of the bones. You hear Mateo's bones breaking and snap it, and his eyes are like. Although there is one or two shots of that, like where this, like the CGI doesn't. I'm not saying the CGI totally holds up. There's many scenes when it's moving. They've done like a blurry frame almost to make it look a little bit like off. But there is a scene with that where it's a CGI Mateo and Snake, which people I've seen point out like that's quite a bad shot.
Yeah, the CGI never kind of looks great.
It's I think the early days.
And Stan Winston's puppet is just so good.
Yeah.
That it really does kind of make it great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That part is so good. But I think there's also to the fact that this is kind of like we said, like mainly, not totally, but like mainly bloodless. It's mainly more blood on the Anaconda, like one scene, but it's mainly bloodless. Like this would be more like a like a UK. Almost probably could pass as almost a 12A. If it wasn't,
it'd probably be a 12A.
I think you can get away with it. Definitely this version of the film.
Yeah,
I guess that's why they're making a comedy horror that is intended to be like a 12A kind of thing reboot of this.
Yeah,
because they're thinking, well, that was kind of bloodless, like attacking and stuff like that. We can probably take this I don't quite exactly know where all of the comedy from it will exactly come from, unless they're going to have someone redo Jon Voight's
I think they will
character,
because it sounds like they are trying to recreate the film.
Yeah.
So somebody is going to be trying to be Jon Voight.
Basically Jon Voight, yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. Paul Rudd.
Mr. Paul Rudd. But I don't know whether it's like it's kind of going to be like a tropical thunder. Where it's like they're intentionally remaking the film and stuff goes wrong on it and they end up in a real situation, or whether like they're just messing around. I don't know. I don't know
exactly what it is. Yeah, I'd heard things and I told you a while ago that I read online where they do test screenings and it was not good.
What did they say about it? Did you hear?
I think they just said that like the comedy just didn't hit. The horror, there was seemed to be a complete lack of actual real horror, things like that. It didn't look right. The CGI didn't look right, but it wasn't finished. I don't think so. But I don't know. But then it's how we say. But then I'm not But then I'm not so sure necessarily Jack Black. But then I quite enjoyed somewhat his Jumanji kind of films and things like that. So he's done that He's done in that Ball House and. Paul Rudd, I normally majority of the time actually like most Paul Rudd stuff.
Mate.
So he's normally pretty good. So I'm not saying that it'll be like a oh my god this is a hilarious comedy.
Yeah,
it might be similar ballparks to what they've hit, but I don't know. I just hope that if you're going to do horror comedy, I still think you need to hit the horror levels of it. You still need to have that level to it. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll review that one. I think that's out in December.
Yeah, we'll try
towards the end of the year, so hopefully we can.
Weird time for it to come out.
It is weird, yeah, to release it like that time of year for that kind of horror.
Yeah,
it sounds much more like a summer horror film.
That's it
to me. But yeah,
what do you think about the the final confrontation? Should one say?
Yeah, I think as I said, I think once it starts building into the actual, it feels like all the attacks and stuff come really quickly. Obviously, you get, when you've got obviously the bodies, obviously Jonathan's gone, and you've also got because they're both taken into the water.
Yes.
And you also get Denise's body pops back up
because Ice Cube gets coiled up, doesn't he? And then
Terry,
Mr.
Danny Rich.
Mr. Danny Rich is dead. And he the body floats up, and then I think she pops it off in the head, doesn't she?
Yeah, she blasts its eye out, and it makes it seem as if it's dead. Like you're like, oh fuck, it's gone. Like that. Well, is it that version gone, or because there's the Anaconda and the Queen?
Yes, which is, and it goes back to what I was saying about the. So the Queen.
I forgot that part. I just thought it was always one. So I think that one's blasted out, isn't it?
I always forget it.
And then inside they find that actually that wasn't the main one.
and this one is 40 foot long. So this is the actual.
This is the 40 foot.
Yeah, this is the 40 footer. And this is the thing I mentioned in previous ones that I hate when they're like
There's
a bigger one.
Yeah.
Oh, we got 8 minutes left of the film.
Yeah,
3 of those are credits, so we're just gonna fucking kill it quickly.
Yeah, it's it's Aliens, isn't it? The Queen. It's like taking back to James Cameron's Aliens and be like, there should always be there's the main ones, but then there's always some big queen or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's just like just a bigger snake.
Exactly, it's just a bigger snake.
And I literally watched it and just at first. I think this is I definitely missed something for a moment because I remember watching it and being like, well, they just blasted that one's head out, and that one's. I was like, well, it got his fucking eye back.
Yeah,
I like it's just where I was like, I think I lost myself. I lost focus.
You just look away for a minute, you know.
And then I was like that, and I was like, so what? It's just okay. There's just another. But that's the thing. The problem is when you're going to do that, and then it doesn't necessarily feel like anything's really different.
No.
Or there's no major change except it's it's a bit bigger. It's bigger. Yeah. But like it feels like the kind of a waste. It's always just like you did it just so you could kill that one, or you could feel like you've got a hand up for a second just to have like the jump scare.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does always come across to me as quite underwhelming. It's always a bit like, did you need to, that other one could have just fought back injured or things like that. Like it's still gonna fucking kill you.
and I don't know whether you get it. It's probably just me being weird, but I kind of get like an attachment to the monster that they've been fighting, to that creature.
I think you do because you've been following.
That's
the one you've been,
and that's
following,
the one that's been killing everything.
If you're like again, you've got to assume that is the one. I mean, you could look at it and go, "Oh, that actually
maybe it's the other one."
The other one, maybe, but it feels like this one's more in place, stays in this one area that they've ended up in, whereas this one is the traveller that's been following. But yeah, no, you do get that more of a like, well, this is the one. It's what we had with Lake Placid. It was the whole. Well, that's the freaking one. Like we followed this one the whole time. That's the one there, and now you're telling us that there might be another one. And the other one might have actually been the bad one. You actually just kept the nice one.
You killed that nice one. Yeah, and it's that. I don't know. It just. I kind of feel like Jaws, if they went out and then they kill and it kills Quint and then Brody kills it and then all of a sudden another second bigger shark comes out of the blue.
Yeah,
it feels so cheap.
Yeah, and to be like that, like there you go.
Like you said, just keep it. Just keep that one.
It's the equivalent of when the slasher film like kills the guy off and then he comes back again, which sometimes works.
Yeah,
and then sometimes is just like. Didn't we just have a finale? Or like, why are we having a finale on a finale? Like, it felt like you wrap this up and now you're going to just do an extra one just for the sake of like, no, we need to make it bigger now.
But at least in that, it's the same killer, Yeah,
it's the same person. I mean, but it's the equivalent of like, well, we've killed the monster, we need to have another one to attack. But yeah, generally, like I liked the bit when she was blasting its head out, and I like the bit inside there. And then obviously we do get, obviously when they're caught in Jon Voight's trap, and I like this bit because it's the comeuppance bit.
Yeah.
So it's good. I like the effect. I like the fact. What I do like is that I did say about one of my thing is slightly that although we get like slight like ways that they show it differently, it does sometimes feel a little bit like we're just getting like a different it's just shown at different levels.
Yeah.
Like Mateo, Gary's high. And now Jonathan's high. But it's a very similar kind of like squeezing death that then gets in different ways. But it's hard to not feel repetitive. But it's nice in one way that they save the actual swallowing.
And that's
saved
what I mean.
for the big boy.
that's what I said earlier. Like you can't blow your beans too early.
Yeah.
Because then everyone's like, "What's the next kill gotta be?"
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't live up to it. So I like that. I was about to call him John Cerrone. So that
I think they're already. The only thing for me is that I think they're already bending the reality anyway. They're already bending reality of anacondas. So I feel like they could have had like like sharp, quick attacks. Biting, like going out the a couple of quick, swift ones like tearing at things or pulling. Things again pushes it into a bloody different kind of one. So I understand if they were trying to stay within a more bloodless, lower rating one. But you could also easily have this and be like, well,
something a bit more
we're not being realistic here anyway. So we could have a snake rip his head off, or we could have a snake rip his throat out, or things like that.
Yeah.
If we were going that way, just to mix up the styles of death, kind of thing like that. But as this is what they seem to mainly be going for, then I think it works really well as like somewhat, I guess, trying to say slightly grounded
In a way,
in Anaconda reality, just with a massive one. But these always have massive ones that are bigger than what they actually are.
Yes.
So, but the final like showdown, obviously when they're trying to escape and stuff like that. But I love the fact that he sets up that whole trap and it fucking breaks through it so easily. Like, I'm in the net. Oh shit! Oh wait. Oh, I know how to get out of this.
Yeah.
And then it's the fact that he's like suddenly so surprised when he tries to like climb out and it pulls him back down.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a moment I think everyone would enjoy especially if they do not like Paul Serrano, who you wouldn't like him. But I mean, if you really dislike the characters and he grated on you or annoyed you, then it's nice to see him getting paid. Yeah,
get him swallowed and then regurgitated.
I love
which
the
is
regurgitation.
super fun.
Yeah, when you see him back out and you've got Jon Voight covered in, I don't know,
goo.
The
More goo.
The goo that's all over him. He's got that layer of fat on him, and he does that little wink.
A little wink, yeah.
As he like collapses back down, like he's got that thing. But there's a slight like I always thought it was more like I always thought he had like an acidic. So like he literally like we saw him kind of start to like melt, dissolve. That's what I always thought. It doesn't do that, but I still like the way it looks. I still like the way that he like drops down dead, basically from the fact that he's been started to be constricted inside the body.
It is cool.
Yeah, it is a cool one, kind of thing. Yeah, it's. And then obviously Eric Stoltz wears up.
Yeah, I love that.
What the fuck happened
again? Because he knocks him out. He knocks Cerrone out earlier, and then passes out again. Yeah. They have this big climactic showdown where they put a fucking pickaxe through the snake's head, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
And then Eric Stoltz
before
just
they
wakes
blow
up
up the whole place.
Before they blow it up.
Burning snake in the air.
Yeah, no more little anacondas.
Yeah.
And then as they're leaving, they see the tribe, and they're like, well, we better start filming then.
Yeah.
Everybody's dead.
And for about 30 seconds, we get the shot of that before they're like, let's ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, fuck these guys.
And that's where I expected to hear LL Cool J going, my big fucking anaconda.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think he's not like LL.
No, he's not quite that. He's not like a Will Smith, who was another person who they wanted for.
Really?
Yeah, I think they wanted that for Mr. LL Cool J's role as well. A Will Smith character, a Bill Murray character, basically a kind of a character who's kind of light-hearted, I guess.
Why cast Ice Cube?
I don't know, because he's not like everyone.
It's not light-hearted. He wasn't kind of like a strange intensity
he wasn't at that
to
time,
him.
was he?
No.
Well, I guess you've got that, but you've got Friday, so he did more kind of comedy. But he's never been the. He's not like a charming, like he's more of a serious, like a sarcastic kind of one.
Like Bill Murray is a sarcastic comedian.
Yeah, but he can do it more lighthearted. Whereas I've always found Ice Cube did a lot of these ones. I did a lot of kids. It's like 21 Jump Street is when they found the perfect way.
That's a good balance
to use his humor to exactly how it is. But we know that he takes an array of. Ice Cube's been in many good films and many absolutely dog shit films. I mean, literally, we are because it'll be forgotten to time because it's streaming and it will move on. But we are in the period of War of the Worlds.
I forgot about that.
Which absolutely looks like the worst. I have not watched it. I'm not wasting my life watching.
Yeah, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch it.
It's absolutely dog. When I heard about it, what the fuck? This was before it was released, and I was like, it popped out of nowhere, and we were like, there's a new War of the World adaptation coming out. It stars Ice Cube. I was like, that already sounds dog shit.
Yeah, I just saw it on Amazon, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
But,
who authorized this?
But seriously, I don't need to watch the film, but some of the clips I've seen, literally look like the most awful thing ever. But literally, we're full of Amazon advertising basically inside of it. It's
of course. Who in H.G. Wells' estate was like, get Ice Cube in it.
Yeah, that's
we won't allow it unless Ice Cube's in it.
Yeah, I feel like whoever in H.G. Wells needs to be taken away from allowing his anything of his to be used anymore.
I know.
Because whoever it is making some bad fucking choices.
Horrendous choices. Fucking Ice Cube.
I don't know if that's probably in the public domain though, isn't it? War of the Worlds. So you can we can make our own one. We'll get on Teams or Zoom and we'll just make our own. Oh shit!
Oh, it's going off.
There is, but it's alright. I can use my new Google Pixel one. to save the day with its AI fiction. That's how we make a film now.
That's how we get it. That's how we get it.
That's how we get paid for it.
Yeah.
By saying that we're going to use this, we're going to use the Google Pix. That's why I didn't go with Amazon because Ice Cube already did that.
Yeah, but everything is like a product.
Everything is like things sponsored by this and things like that. It's okay. I can find out how to stop the creatures. I just need to use the Google search.
Yeah. No. I got to be careful. My new Primark T-shirt is quite constricting.
Oh my god, where did you find that? Well, I searched on Google.
Yeah, well, I searched on Google. I went onto ASOS and I entered this promo code. Nice dog shit.
Yeah, it's terrible. It is. I don't know. I know some people who have wasted. I think Josh.
I imagine he
watched it, and I was like, I don't know why, but
yeah,
there are certain films where I'm just like, I can tell from a mile away that that's dog shit.
I think
I'm not wasting my hours on it.
His 1/2-star, 1-star review of it, maybe.
I think so. I think because you can't go any lower than that.
Yeah,
you can't rate it otherwise, can you?
No, you can't. You have to. You technically have to rate.
You have to add a rating.
It has to have some kind. So the question I'll ask you, because I think I've asked this regarding all of them so far, is: have you seen any of the sequels to Anaconda?
No.
I
don't think I've even seen the sequel, which is really weird because I remember how much I loved this, and I remember looking forward to actually seeing the second one. Like, because it's really weird to think that what is kind of a straight to kind of has a somewhat straight to DVD-ness about it with the actors that are in that film.
Yeah.
And yet
it was quite it got a theatrical release.
Or at least it did in the UK, because I remember it being in the cinema and being like, I'm going to go and see that, and I didn't go and see that, and I've never seen it since. But you watched it recently.
I did. I actually rented it for, I think maybe my 13th or 14th birthday from Blockbusters. Fucking loved it. And then I randomly watched it again maybe like 10 years ago, and then after watching this I was like, I'm going to watch Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, and I prefer Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
You think it's the better film?
No, it's not the better film, but I prefer it.
You have more fun with it.
I have more fun with it.
Yeah,
because
I will have to check this one out.
I mean, the CGI
I don't really have a plan on watching any of the what look like Sci-Fi Channel sequels that come after that. But
or me, but
although David Hasselhoff is
he's in the third one.
So if that intrigues you, then go and check out the third one.
He's in Anaconda 3: Offspring from 2008,
and there is a crossover between two films we've covered. There is an Anaconda Lake Placid, which I did see when I was searching for Anaconda. It did pop up, so I could watch that.
You could also watch Anaconda's Trail of Blood, which is the fourth one.
Yeah, and I could also take a car battery to my nuts.
You could. I think it would be...
Both might have similar experiences.
Both may be similar.
I'm sure they all have nudity, so they'll all get me hard.
Yeah. I also think taking a car battery to your nuts is probably not as painful as watching it. But the second one it's not a great film. But it's...
I know, like the lead actor, he's like a dude that used to be on like EastEnders.
It's kind of like EastEnders actors. However, like it feels bigger budget.
Yeah.
And
it was made like 2004.
2004, yeah. But I kind of think it's more fun. Like the kills, it's able to have a bit more fun with, and just the anacondas themselves. It has more fun with it. The CGI isn't great. It's mostly CGI.
More anacondas.
It is, which is proven if you have more of something, it's better.
Because you just said that bigger have made it worse, but more makes it better.
More makes it better.
Just don't get bigger.
Stay the same size, but more of them. I'd recommend it, and like I said to you before, as a little teaser, Dwight H. Little was the director, who you would know from such things as Halloween 4 of Blood Orchid. He also did Free Willy 2, Marked for Death for any Steven Seagal fans out there. For the free Steven Seagal fans out there, Tekken, if you want to watch that. I mean, Tekken's dog shit.
I feel like this is getting lower and lower in the types of film we're talking about here.
Natty Knox was another film that he did recently with Bill Moseley, Daniel Harris, and Robert Englund in it. And it was
he's got some low budget horror creds then.
He does.
But he did. Which Halloween did he do? Sorry, 4.
Halloween 4.
I do like Halloween 4.
What about... Do you like Papa's Angels from 2000? It's not a porno. It's
I literally was thinking, and Rob is looking this up on his phone, and I read it as Papa's Anus. So,
Papa's Anus.
So when you said that, I was like, it's definitely porn.
It's definitely porn. I mean, so Arkansas, or was it Arkansas, I believe they pronounce it, furniture maker Grins Jenkins is a cheerful man and loving father to his 5 kids, as well as the life of every party in their small town. When his wife Sharon, who used to be the bad cop, slowly dies of TBC, so does Grin's sense of fun.
Wait, TBC? Do you mean TV or to be confirmed?
To be confirmed. I mean, they haven't decided what's killed her yet.
They made this film in what year?
25 years ago.
25 years ago. They still haven't decided what she dies of.
But she dies slowly of it. That's all you need to know. The kids refuse to keep mourning forever, but Dad practically retires from the world and turns his back, opposing them enjoying life again. And shows his anus. Then Christmas tide arrives, and son Alvin refuses to let his kid brother's dream be spoiled. It's got 5 reviews on Letterboxd.
I feel like we just hit a new kind of low.
I think we did. 33 people have watched it on Letterboxd.
Amazing. Check out Papa's Angels.
Papa's Angels.
Don't
Google Papa's Anus. That's something else. But that, that's a little bit of history into the film. Google Papa's Anus.
We're already down there. I'm just going to make it serious.
Or just email us. Can I see Papa's Anus? And Seb will comply. I'd recommend.
I said I'd show anything but my neck.
Anything but your neck. You can touch anything but your neck. I mean, I'd recommend it. It's a fun film, and it's.
You're talking about Blood
Orchid,
not Papa's Angels.
Not Papa's Angels. Papa's Angels is anything but a fun film. A woman slowly dies of TBC. Whatever that is. They just went, fucking whatever.
I don't know.
Just have a slowly die.
We'll decide later.
Yeah,
we're filming the film right now.
We'll CGI it.
It's a type of. It's about a type of TB. It's not been confirmed.
We'll just CGI it later. Whatever kills her. And it's like a shark. It just comes out of nowhere and fucking gobbles her up. And they're like, oh god, how sad was that? Alright, on to the next thing. Almost dead.
We are way off.
Yes.
We have gone into odd territories. I mean, that's the usual.
That's the usual. But yeah, it does have a crossover with Lake Placid, which I'm not going to watch. I'll be straight up with you. I'm not watching that dog shit.
Well, we did say that. So this is. I think we'd come back around to our creature features season.
Yeah.
We mainly went with the absolute top of the pinnacle, the OG almost with Jaws. Not saying that it's the original creature feature, it's definitely not
the best,
but it's kind of the biggest and many believe the best. But we started with that one, but we've covered many, but I think we would come back around to this because we mainly went from there to just the 90s.
Yeah, and there's loads.
we kind of stuck around the late 90s and went, they only made Jaws and films in the late 90s. And then they gave up on creature features.
They only made these 4, which is strange.
There you go. Although, to be fair, which one is your favourite? We covered 4.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. I think
deepest bluest. My head is like a shark's fin. If I had to watch one, Deep Blue Sea. What about you?
I think I have to revisit it. I think I just forgot how much I do actually truly enjoy watching Jaws. So I think it would still have to be Jaws. But Deep Blue Sea would be the next one after that. Anaconda and
Lake Placid.
I think I may be. When you're I may be now done with this film.
Yeah.
As in, I've always wanted to revisit it, and now it may be time to let that one rest. I think Lake Placid has now firmly made it onto the. I may have watched it for the last time in my life.
Yeah, same here.
That may be it. Until I'm an old senile man who can't remember anything. And all I will watch is Lake Placid on repeat. And, there is an absolute chance of that happening, that I will have dementia. And I will sit there, and every day I will just watch Lake Placid again. and again.
And we'll just do one episode on Lake Placid.
Yeah,
just again and again.
I'll still be doing the podcast.
Yeah, but we're both senile old men just going, Lake
know,
Placid's dog shit. I haven't watched it for years.
I mean, we probably in that scenario would never actually work out or remember how to release an episode. So we'll just keep recording the same episode again until our minds believe that it is an absolutely great film again.
Yeah.
And it will come back around.
Or we die.
Probably.
That's it.
That's it. That's how we end our episode, on the high note of us both becoming senile and having dementia.
I think, well, if you're a fan of people who may one day become senile and have dementia, make sure to hit that subscribe button and please leave us a lovely review. Come and let us know your thoughts on Anaconda. If you've watched Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid, if you've watched Papa's Angels, and your favourite creature features in general, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at CMTH Podcast. And as always, play us out, boys.